Hey, gang, the weekend will soon be here. Why not take a drive to Shippensburg, Pennsylvania? Why would I go to Shippensburg, Michael? You'll go to the Parks Casino, the brand new Parks Casino in Shippensburg. If you live in Western Maryland, Northern Virginia, South Central Pennsylvania, or West Virginia, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. Hagerstown, Maryland, I'm looking at you. Winchester, Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia, Chambersburg, PA, Carlisle. Now open in Shippensburg, you will find 500 state-of-the-art slot machines, 48 live dealer electronic table games featuring blackjack, roulette, and more. You can bet sports on the Bet Parks Sportsbook kiosks located right in the casino, and then stick around and watch all the action. Enjoy the Liberty Bar and Grill. That's an upscale, family-friendly restaurant, craft beers, cocktails, everything you want. Get in on the action. Have some fun in Shippensburg. Visit parkscasino.com. Got to be 21 for the casino. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Parks is P-A-R-X. TC, these are not the headlines.
Oh.
From Smerconish.com, the Thursday edition of the newsletter.
Wait. What are you talking about?
These are alternative headlines. These are things I want you to know.
Okay.
I want you to know that it was a very special day last Thursday at the Forest Grove Presbyterian Church because after 170 years, they have replaced the steeple.
Oh, indeed. That is a special day.
I don't think that they have yet figured out who was the rogue crop duster in Tinicum Township.
Oh, they have not yet figured that out.
Don't think so. There's a classic scene in Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest where Cary Grant is menacingly buzzed by a rogue crop duster. While not quite as cinematic, Tinicum residents were faced with their own real-life drama when an unannounced low-flying plane began banking low over residential homes and then descended precipitously over a local farm field, dropping rye or wheat pellets coated with an as-yet unidentified encapsulation material.
Oh, my. What does it all mean?
Sad news.
Oh.
They tried, but they could not keep the Sintra mansion. All the experts looked at it, and they said that it just couldn't be saved, and after 200 years on West Bridge Street in New Hope Borough, it had to be leveled.
Oh, no.
Further bad news is that the school board continues to be divided. It's widely understood that November's election in the Central Bucks School District will determine the course of the fourth largest district in the state for years to come. The deeply polarized school board currently consists of 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats. And finally, in terms of front page news, there is this.
This is all from the front page?
Yeah, this is all. I'm showing, to the boys at Creative for those who watch us on YouTube.
I see that.
And I hope that you do. Gents,
okay.
Are you looking at it?
I see it.
Okay.
Yep.
So how about this headline? When the world falls apart, hands holding hearts is there.
Oh.
Sometimes our worst nightmares are realized. Sometimes we don't know how we'll go on. When a child is faced with the death of a parent, sibling, or someone else dear in their life, not only is the pain unimaginable, the questions seemingly endless, and the fear far-reaching, the need for support is crucial. Perhaps no one understands that quite as well as Ann Kuiper Shaw, co-founder of Hands Holding Hearts. The Newtown-based nonprofit offers an array of grief counseling services, support groups, workshops, and a highly regarded bereavement camp for children who are 6 to 12.
Wow.
Isn't that a nice story?
Things that you wish you didn't need, but you're glad you have them if you do.
There's a young camper there with a pony.
Aww.
With a pony. These are all headlines from the Bucks County Herald. Last night, I was deeply touched to be honored by this community newspaper in the community where I was born and raised and still maintain a lot of ties.
It meant a lot to you. I know this.
It was really special, and I wanted you to get a feel for what the Herald is all about. Yeah. It comes out every Thursday. It's free. It's distributed. You can subscribe, but mostly it's left at businesses throughout Central Bucks County, which is where I'm from. And you better get your copy by Thursday sundown because otherwise they're gone.
They're gone.
And it is now community owned. It is a not-for-profit. These are some really good folks, and I've known.
How do they print? How do they stay in business?
because of donations.
Wow.
And last night, where I was honored, and I'll talk about the other honoree in a moment, it was a fundraiser.
Got it.
Bridget Wingert is the president. Joe Wingert is the publisher. Bridget's husband, Joe's father, also Joseph Wingert, is gone. He was a wonderful guy as well. He was the founding publisher. Ann Meredith, who is married to Joe, is like the executive director.
So you're not kidding. It really is a family affair.
No, it's a family affair. But you know, it's a nonpartisan, locally based nonprofit. They told this unbelievable story with video last night about how COVID was taking them down, and they had to turn to the community for donations. And people would send in like dollar bills.
Wow.
Just to keep them afloat.
Wow. And it worked.
So, and I love it. If I went through the different sections, I can show you the editorial section and letters to the editor. The ads are great to see. The local sports and photographs and like the honor roll and the graduation and the obituaries.
Wow.
They're all very, very special. And so last night I was told, like Ann runs, I knew Ann Meredith 35 years ago. It's just funny the way that life works. So she was the one who invited me, she and Joe, months ago and said, we'd like to honor you. We'd like to honor you and Jennifer Lynn, who's a very accomplished journalist. I'll tell you about her in a moment. But they said, as the event drew near, there were a couple hundred people there last night, you have 3 minutes.
Ooh.
You have 3 minutes.
Nice.
And I said, my commercial breaks are 4.5. Like 3 minutes. It made me nervous.
Bada bing.
It made me nervous. I really had to think, okay, what do I want to say?
By the way, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I did too.
That's great.
I did too.
Are you kidding me?
But I had to put a lot of thought into what am I going to say with my 3 minutes about why this community newspaper means so much to me.
Okay.
Before I tell you what I said, so let me just tell you about Jennifer Lynn, because she's an accomplished journalist of 3 decades at the Philadelphia Inquirer and also a book author. Here's her.
What's she got over there?
Okay, Beethoven in Beijing. Huh. Her book. By the way, she created a documentary that aired on PBS of the same name. So she was terrific. Like it was
cool.
It was one of these nights where she used her 3 minutes, and I'm sitting there saying, "Damn it! I wish I were speaking first. I don't want to follow her." By the way, you should
rising tide.
You should also know that her husband Bill is going to reach out for you.
Oh,
he needs a hip replacement and he needs a little advice.
Oh, I got it.
Okay,
Dr. Jim Purtill.
So I was privileged to share the bill with Jennifer Lynn.
Fabulous.
At this event last night that raised money for a local newspaper that is near and dear to my heart. And now that I've described for you the stories, right? The new steeple, the bereavement camp, the school board, the mansion we couldn't save.
I get it.
You get it?
I totally get it.
Okay. So I stood up last night without any preamble at all.
Okay.
And here's what I said. But don't worry, I'm not going to run on too long because it was only 3 minutes.
TikTok. I'm going to watch the clock.
So have I painted the picture so that you can appreciate their remarks?
I really think I get it.
Okay.
I think I get it.
So a couple hundred people, they're all on their feet. This is at one more thing. One more thing. This was at the Michener Art Museum in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, which is built within the walls of the former county prison where my dad used to run the adult education program when it was a prison. Yeah, and they
really have been part of that community.
It used to be
time.
affectionately known as the Pine Street Hotel. The Pine Street Hotel.
Because when people go away to a gated community,
the formal door, the thick, big doors are still there to go into this gorgeous art gallery. If you go through the front door, you walk through the prison doors.
Wow.
So, I mean, those are the kind of connections. Like if I looked more deeply in the Herald, I would find real estate ads for my mom.
That's so great.
Yeah, I'm sure Mom is like in the paper today.
I love that.
Okay. Now I think I've painted the picture.
Picture painted.
I stand up last night and I say my first words, I see the Herald in a broad context. In August, I read a story in the LA Times. It was about the impact of replacing cashiers with self-checkout at grocery stores. This was presented as the loss of a weak tie. Those warm, low-stakes relationships that we often enjoy. Maybe you know somebody's face, if not their name. The type of social interaction that comes from familiarity, in this case, the person who rings the cash register. But now those cashiers are the latest casualty in a world changed by technology, like the gas station attendant or bank teller or the people you sit next to at the movies. Today, we pump our own, we use ATM, and we stream. And with every advance of technology, every new means of connectivity, it seems that we are actually less connected, leaving many lonely and feeling disconnected from their neighbors. Our youth are behind bedroom doors creating imaginary lives, not living real ones. Nearly a quarter of our seniors are socially isolated. The Surgeon General recently said that we have an epidemic of loneliness and isolation, which is why the Herald is so important. It provides a salve for what ails society. It's more than print and paper. It's glue. A reminder of our shared experience, our common denominators, our weak ties. They come from the pictures and the sports scores and the township supervisor and school board meetings, the letters to the editor from neighbors, the coverage of community events. Have you ever looked at one of the photographs in the obituaries and said, I didn't know them, but I've seen him or her? Even the local merchant ads draw you in. Every Thursday is a letter from a friend. That's the publication date. It defines living in Central Bucks. It confirms membership in this community. The Herald provides a sense of local belonging at a time of national estrangement. It's much, much more than a weekly newspaper. I feel like I delivered it better here on radio than I did last night.
I think my favorite one was, it's more than paper, pen and paper.
It's glue.
It's glue.
It's glue.
Yeah,
I was particularly proud of that line. Thank you. If we were doing like CNN, that would be the chyron.
For sure.
Oh, one more thing I want to tell you.
That could be their buzz. That could be their phrase. Yeah. For fundraising.
Yeah.
Be the glue. Help us keep this community together.
Yeah. We're more
I'll
than, tell this to Ann.
Is it pen and paper? Is that what you said?
No, we're more than paper and ink.
Oh, ink.
We're glue.
That's better.
We're more, because I'm thinking of like the raw materials.
Yes, of course.
We're more the Herald. The Herald. We're more than paper and ink. We're glue. We're done.
Amazing.
We're done here.
Wow.
One more thing.
Yeah, that's good.
One more thing I have to tell you. And this is now.
Did it bring the house down? Rousing applause.
They're very nice. They're very warm. They were very. I knew half the people in the room.
Love that. Does that make you more nervous when you're speaking to people you know?
Of course.
Me too.
Like radio. Well, I'm sitting up talking to you.
Oh, no one's listening. Who cares?
And CNN.
Hi, YouTube.
CNN. I'm in a CNN. I'm in a little. We call it flash studio. There's nobody there. There's one other person in the building.
Yeah.
And makeup.
So radio, it's just you and me. TV, it's just like Lily.
I want to tell you one more thing. So, and this is like a note to all meeting and event planners.
Oh, love it.
Okay, which I say with my gigantic ego and pomposity.
Wow.
Ready?
It's just good to be self-aware.
Ready? Nobody wants a plaque. Nobody wants a plaque. Nobody wants like a monument to put on your desk. Nobody you're inviting to come and speak wants you to go to the local trophy store and create something for that night, because candidly, we're not going to hang it. We're not going to use it. So do what the Herald did last night. They gave me an original painting.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to put it in my Instagram.
Wait, that's really cool. And you appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's about Yay Big. The artist is named Robert Beck. I will put it in Instagram.
Made for this occasion?
It's of a feather pen and an ink.
No way.
Inkwell.
An inkwell.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that is how you treat a speaker. That is
amazing.
Like thoughtful.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it.
Okay.
In fact, before they told me what they were giving me, they said, and they were going to hand you. I'm like, okay, but you'll take it away, I hope, because
Where am I going to put it?
Because where am I going to put it?
Right.
On this, I meant on the podium.
Sure. Of course.
They're like, it's a painting. Oh, really? That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
How very cool.
Support, here, put me in this camera. Support local journalism. Support local. I wish that every community across the country had a newspaper like this. Honest to God, I meant everything I said in terms of we need the common denominators. We need the glue. We are too distant from one another. And that's what this paper does with the story about the church steeple and the bereavement camp and the mansion that we couldn't save and the crop duster. I love that crop duster. Who's in the crop duster?
That's amazing.
It's the funniest story in the world. Honest to God. Okay, TC.
Wow.
Headlines now
Really?
from Smerconish.com, the
Actually?
Thursday edition of the newsletter. Thank you for the voting yesterday. 21,827 votes cast. Will we ever know definitively who or what caused the strike on the Al Ali Arab Hospital in Gaza? 63.69% said yes. I'm included with them. I think we already do. I think we know that it's Islamic Jihad. There's been a good showing of evidence. The president told us that U.S. defense officials have independently confirmed that information. Unfortunately, the Arab world is not going to buy the conclusion, and that's sad, and leads me to today's poll question. Should the U.S. become directly involved if Hezbollah joins the war in Gaza? Go vote at Smerconish.com. All of our top links today pertain to the situation in Israel as is appropriate. And how about our Steve Breen? I have read stories in the last week about a couple of cartoonists being fired or disciplined for their editorial cartoons about the situation in Israel. I think Steve Breen nailed it. And TC, you know that I'm making our editorial cartoonists available only for subscribers. You must be, it's free. Why the hell wouldn't you subscribe to my newsletter?
Correct.
And it's worthy.
Right.
And I got so many compliments last night at the event for the Bucks County Herald about the news.
Liked it.
Like people say to me, like, this is the truth. You know this to be the truth. They're like, hey, I really enjoy your POTUS program. Oh, thank you. Hey, I watch you on CNN. Oh, that's nice. I'm a subscriber to the newsletter. I'm like, give me a hug. Give me a hug. I hugged a woman last night.
You hugged a woman
I
last
hugged a
night.
woman who told me that she was a newsletter subscriber.
Did she
Yeah.
want to be hugged?
Yeah,
She
for
was
sure.
okay to hug her.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Anyway.
You know I'm very huggy. We go out there, we're very huggy. You're less huggy than me.
Yeah, I will. The newsletter is the key. That's your ticket.
Now I know.
You want to hug the host of this program?
Newsletter, baby.
So Steve Breen has and I'm showing it today.
You are showing the cartoon.
Normally it is only for newsletter subscribers, but did we put it up on the screen yet?
We already did, yes.
Okay,
But
all right,
I'm sure
there it is.
Daniel can put
Look
it
at
up
that.
again. There
Thank
it
you,
is. Yes,
Daniel.
thank you, Daniel.
Right?
Yeah.
A bottle that says Middle East.
Yep.
It's like a Molotov cocktail,
Yeah.
and it's got a fuse coming out of it that's been lit,
And it's
the
the lit
fuse
fuse?
is Gaza. Steve, I mean, he writes with such clarity.
Yeah, he captured it.
You know?
He captured it.
So does Rob Rogers. So does Jack Oman.
Yep.
I love our editorial cartoonists. All right, what do you got?
All right. So then there are really some fascinating nuggets that have nothing to do with the situation in Israel and Gaza. One is a headline from the Washington Post. Forget dating apps. Senator Grassley's office has produced 20 marriages.
Unbelievable.
And the lead to this story is so great. Alex and Molly Severin held hands near the front of an Iowa church a few years ago, excited for the pastor to pronounce them husband and wife. But for a moment, Molly thought the pastor was going to ruin her wedding. Here, yet again, we have another couple who met through that popular dating site, the pastor said. Alex and Molly had started dating when they worked at Iowa Senator Charles E. Grassley's D.C. office in 2016. They did not use a dating site, so Molly was terrified their officiant was about to share false information. But after pausing for a second, the pastor clarified what kind of site he was referring to. Senator Grassley's office.
I love it.
It's the best.
But you know, we have other stories that we bundled today on this same theme. Don't feel rushed. This is important.
Okay.
Because the workplace, first of all, if you're not at work, you're not going to meet people. And the workplace has historically been a place where many relationships, like Senator Grassley's office, where you know, are initiated.
Right. There's
a story about Starbucks at Smerconish.com today where the short version is that the staff was concerned that a man was inappropriate with a woman who was in the store. So
a young woman, an 18-year-old woman was at the store, and they were afraid that a man was bothering her, talking to her. And so they gave her, a cup. We poured a cup of hot chocolate by mistake, but written on the cup was, "Are you okay? Do you want us to intervene? If you do, take the lid off the cup."
Right. So the story, read the whole story because I love this. The thing went viral. And there was a comment made on X, quote, "Can't approach women in coffee shop, creepy, because that's creepy. Can't approach women at work, that's unprofessional. Can't approach a woman at a gym, because that's distracting. Can't approach women at church, there are no singles. Can't approach women in public with friends. What are men supposed to do?" And there's a study published on date psychology that says nearly half of young men under 25 have never approached a woman in person, with most fear, rejection, and social consequences.
Well, I mean, honestly, you see stories like this, and it's no wonder you think that. But you have to be able, you have to be able to speak to people. And by the way, the 18-year-old did not take the lid off the cup.
Right.
She did not take the lid off the cup.
Good point.
She did not. She felt safe. She felt okay. In other words, if someone talks to you in public, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be, or it can't be. But honestly, we're so far removed from having the conversations.
You need to be able to approach
we don't
people.
Know.
Let me go back to what I said before. We got to mingle. Okay,
right.
we got to get together.
A man eating a hard-boiled egg did tell me I smelled good the other day on the street, and I did just keep walking. But you
didn't say thank you?
No.
Why?
No.
Because of the hard-boiled egg?
Yeah, he was a little odd.
What if you were eating a hoagie?
He was eating a hard-boiled egg.
How about if it were quiche?
I felt it was.
What if it were
odd.
sushi?
If it was a quiche, it would have been you, and then that would have been fine.
Finally, another headline: New York Times reporter who led Cuomo's sexual harassment coverage accused by ex-Cuomo aide of inappropriate behavior. So the short version is, and I believe that tomorrow on the program, we will have Melissa DeRosa here. She's written a book. She worked in a high capacity.
Blast from the past.
Yeah, worked in a high capacity for Governor Cuomo. So the New York Times, writing about the allegations of sexual harassment by Cuomo, she maintains that she was treated by the very reporter in a harassing fashion. She'll tell us that story tomorrow.
All right. We got to go.
Support local journalism. Vote at Smerconish. Hey, by the way, local journalism, like our newsletter. It's Thursday. Make sure you're listening to TC After Dark. See ya.